We finally got our hands on the ADI2, and in this video I'm going to show you what's inside the box, I'm going to explain why we're so excited about this instrument, and I'm going to answer some of your questions. Now this video is going to be a bit shorter because it's quite a simple instrument and there's not much in here. What we do have is, like with any LXNAV product, we have the packing list, we have the standard LXNAV USB stick, the mounting hardware, and the wiring harness, which is very simple. You only have a power wire, a ground wire, and a temperature probe. And finally, in the box, we have the ADI2 itself. ADI stands for Air Data Indicator, and 2 because this is the second generation. But unlike its predecessor, this one is fully certified. It is an EASA STC approved airspeed, altitude, and vario indicator. And we have checked, it is also approved for use in the UK. That certification is the main headline of this device because it means you can finally take all the old clocks out of your panel and replace them with a modern, sharp digital display. You can make space in your panel. But it's not the only notable feature. And before I power it on and show you the new LXNAV interface, let's look around the outside. The back of the unit is very simple with a simple plug and 2 ports, a pitot and a static. Around the front, you've got a rotary knob with a push button and an LXNAV first, a full circular display. All of the varios, including the V8 and the S100, have on the side some buttons. This is the first time we see a complete display. With that out of the way, let's put it in a panel and see how it works. With the ADI2 now installed and powered on, you can see it's quite a basic instrument, but it's got a lot of information on it. Around the edge, you've got our airspeed indicator, and you can see we've got the speed bands here, which can be set based on the glider you're installing this in. Around the bottom here, this is our first configurable nav box. At the top, we've got our second one, and in the center, we've got our height. We've got our millibit scale here, we've got our battery percentage here, and we've got our vario here. Now, battery percentage, right now it's showing the power of the glider battery, but it also has a built-in 3-hour backup. In terms of day-to-day operation, all the knob is doing is it's adjusting the millibar scale, and you can see as I do that, the height is changing. If I give it some pressure on the pitot, you can see the ASI move. And our indicated airspeed nav box is also adjusting. And then if I give it some pressure on the static, there we go, we're dropping, and so is the vario. So that's the operation, that's the extent of it. Now, in terms of customization, what you can do is you can go into the menu by pressing and holding the center button. And here you've got the first glimpse at the new LXNAV user interface, which is very clean, big fan of it. On the display, you can control the brightness, both when it's powered by the glider battery or when it's just powered off the internal battery. And then layout is where you can see all of the customization. So we've got the top nav box, which you can see I can change to show me the battery voltage. I can show the indicated airspeed, QFE, QNH, vario in meters per second. Currently, you can change the units as well. The altitude, flight level, true airspeed, temperature, and we're back to battery. And then let's say I want to see QFE. We can then see at the bottom you have all of the exact same options. And then here's where you can change the style. So we can change the style to, let's say, light. And let's change that to light as well so you can see. And there you go. Now the display has changed. We can then also change this. Let's change the color style to light as well. And there you go. Now both are light. And once you're happy, you can either press and hold, or you can scroll all the way and click back. Installation, here is where you set your units. So let's set them to British, because that's where we are. And then you can adjust anything you'd want to adjust if you're not happy with the standards. Speeds, here is where you adjust the arc. And you even can add some custom labels. Then we have Wi-Fi, which you won't really have much use for. but I do want to show you the keyboard. So let's connect to any old Wi-Fi and look at that, how much easier that will be to use. Really big fan of this keyboard. And then we'll go out of here, out of here. Scale origin, this is where you set exactly where you want 0 to be. So now 0 is at the top, and now 0 is at the bottom. True airspeed mode, here's where you can change whether or not you want to just look at the altitude, or you want to look at the temperature as well, or you can use some sort of compensation. Vario filter, we're all familiar with that, temperature offset. And that is about it, apart from the about page, which will tell you the firmware version, the serial number of the device, anything you might need for troubleshooting purposes. And that's the ADI2. Now, I've already said this a couple of times, but as you can see, it's very basic, very simple to use. Which means we now reach the part of the video where I answer your questions, and for that I am going to need a cheat sheet because I can't remember all your questions. The most common questions you had is, can I buy the ADI2 as a club version with just one of the licenses? And the answer is no. Because this is a certified instrument, what you see is what you get. By switching off either function, you fundamentally change what the instrument is, and so it wouldn't meet its certification criteria anymore. So you have to have it as this because it's certified. Think of it as a digital version of a mechanical instrument. Does the certification mean it's accepted as a primary flight instrument? Yes, that's the whole point of being EASA STC approved. The caveat is, because it's digital, if it was to fail, you would have no information. You need to have a backup instrument. And we've seen people see this information, and we've seen arguments online saying that this makes the ADI2 completely pointless because you still have to keep your mechanical instruments. That's not true. A backup instrument doesn't have to be certified. And if you read the manual, it'll even tell you that if you are already using an S80 Club, an S100, LX8000, 9000, an instrument in your panel that already has a pneumatic connection can display your airspeed and your height, then that is your backup. You just need to make sure that you have a nav box open that gives you that information. So if this, for whatever reason, dies, you still got that information available to you immediately. Can I use it in the UK? I already answered this at the beginning of the video, and we've put loads of information out there, but we still get phone calls, people asking, is it certified in the UK? Yes, it is. We've spoken to the BGA, we've spoken to the CAA. It is approved. You can use it in the UK. How does it compare to the ADI1? The main and primary difference is that certification. The ADI1 is not a certified instrument. You can't use it as a primary instrument. You can't replace your mechanical ASI or altimeter. You still have to have them if you use the ADI1. Because this is certified, there are limitations in what it can do. So some of the functions you'll find on the ADI1 are missing on the ADI2 because it cannot have them for legal reasons. Now, if you haven't got a Vario or any other flight computer that has pneumatic data and it can display the information you need, you could get the ADI1 as well and use that in combination with this to have all the information you need and to be able to use this as a primary instrument in your panel. Can I install it on my own? In principle, yes, it's very simple. You just need to give it power, ground, and you need to put the probe somewhere where it has access to the outside air temperature. But because it's certified, you have to have an inspector sign off the installation, and you have to pass all the exact same tests that a mechanical ASI passes. So you have to make sure that, the same way you'd have to make sure that your mechanical ASI has the correct markings for your glider, this has to have the correct markings set up. You have to make sure that it reads correctly, that it is within the error range. Anything you do with mechanical, you have to do with this as well. That covers the main questions you had. If you have any others, leave them in the comments. We'll be happy to answer them. And that really concludes the video. That's the ADI2. We're very excited to see it. We're going to be installing it in many panels. We already have several in the workshop ready to go. So yeah, if you're interested, check it out on our website. If you have any questions, drop us an email, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.